here to say we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, are you tired at home? Maybe you're listening to too many episodes of Aaron's Opinion. Well, I'm so glad to tell you that I have just the thing. You see, blendedjoe.com has just reached out to me, and they're a sponsor for a limited time until the 31st of August of the Aaron's Opinion podcast. Whether you want a coffee with fruit, chocolate, light roast, medium roast, dark roast, beans, cake cups, different seasonal flavors. Trust me, they've got you covered at Blended Joe. They've got you covered. No problem. As a matter of fact, I have even better news. I can even tell you that until the 31st of August, all you need to do if you want a 20% discount on all of your orders at blendedjoe.com, which, I mean, who doesn't want a discount, right? All you got to do is just type in the promo code Aaron. And if you have a hard time spelling, so do I. It's really easy. AARON at checkout. Blendedjoe.com. Trust me, whether you're at home on the couch or on the go, I know you'll love every sip and every coffee from Blended Joe. We're back with Olga Mahler, who now I would like you to talk about your YouTube channel. And what I would like you to talk about, if you want, is some of the videos that I've seen. So you were telling me before we got started that you took down a video of your own accord. It was a video, and I would like to address it with you a little bit. So you produced at one point a video where you were showing people how to eat cereal. Something about that.
Yes, I can talk about that with great pleasure. But let me, in general, sort of talk about the channel, why I started it. So it's called Born Blind to Inspire. And at some point of my life, I felt like my cup was absolutely full. I felt so happy. I thought I have to share my happiness with the world, because I know there are lots of people, whether they're blind, whether they have other health challenges, whether they have, personal challenges related to family, that need a little bit of that encouragement. And quite a few friends of mine that sort of lead into creating that channel would often say to me, Olga, when I talk to you, it's like a gust of fresh air, a fresh wind. You're just able to cheer me up so well. And I thought, gee, the world really needs a little bit of that cheering up, And so I thought, I need to start a YouTube channel talking about my life, and not so much focusing on problems and challenges, but more so how, despite of those problems and challenges, you can still enjoy life, you can still be happy, you can still be successful. So that was the reason I created the channel, and that's my goal, to cheer people up. And I don't have any grand plans. I'm not looking for thousands of subscribers. If I can, inspire at least hundreds of people, I will consider my mission complete. Seriously.
And seriously, here at Aaron's Opinion, I say that if I talk to one person, I just helped a million others. So all you need to do is make sure that one person watches the video. All you need is one like, because that means that you just helped a million other blind people all over the world. Definitely.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so mainly, so far, my content is focused on parenting blind. But I haven't been going that long, and I do have sort of technical issues, because it's not all up to me producing the videos, making the videos, editing the videos. I have to rely on the help of my husband, of my nephew. Luckily, my nephew is a professional videographer, but He lives in Ukraine, so he can only help me with editing of my videos. But anyway, like I have more ideas than my helpers can handle, So
Well,
I
that's
don't have
good.
I don't have as many videos up as I would want to. I've been only going for 2 months, I think, maybe 3 months, not more than that, that's for sure. So far I've made videos about me exercising because I'm quite passionate about fitness. I've made lots of sort of parenting videos with my 3-year-old. He's quite a movie star. He loves that. So we were baking a cake. We were making some cookies. We were washing my guide dog and that sort of stuff. And yes, there were a couple of videos that were a bit different. One where I was driving my husband's car and it's not entirely accessible for blind people. It has quite a bit of music and visual scenes. And that's one of the things that I haven't made up my mind on accessibility for the blind. I want to have the balance that it's interesting enough for the blind people, but on the other hand, it's not too descriptive for people who are sighted, because as I said, I want to, give a sort of encouragement not only to people with blindness, but anyone, because as I said, lots of people need that. So that's maybe why not every blind person quite liked my driving the Porsche video. And the other video that I did take down out of my own accord, actually twice, and I once I published it, and then probably in a couple of days I took it down, then I made it public again, and now again I took it down because it's very, very different. In that video I sort of sarcastically tell about how blind people eat cereal. I use a huge salad bowl. Instead of a spoon, I use a ladle. I spill a cereal all over the place. I spill the milk all over the place. I can't reach my mouth, so it goes all over my face, all over my head, and then actually it wasn't plotted like that. My 3-year-old son comes along, pops in like, "Mom, what you doing?" And I thought, oh well, I'll play along. So I said, "Well, Michael, I'm trying to eat cereal, not very successful. Can you help me?" And so I say, "See, that just the nature of being a blind parent, that your children have to do everything for you." And so he feeds me cereal. And then, basically I said, "Well, now you know how blind people eat cereal." But basically, like, no, what I was trying to say, blind people are absolutely normal, and we, just like anyone else, have a sense of humor, and we are not afraid to say, yes, we are blind, yes, maybe we do certain things differently, but it doesn't diminish our value. That's just what we are, who we are, and we are not afraid to say that. And it didn't quite come across like that for everyone. I've been sworn at, F-words and stuff like that.
Oh,
And
goodness. Well, okay. Well, would you, um, even though this is an explicit podcast, I never treat my guests like that. Would you like my respectful opinion? And
I would
maybe,
love that.
okay. So I did not like the video. I
Yes.
disagree. But I did not like it. But I understood what you were saying. What
Mm,
you were saying was you were making fun of society's perception of blind people.
yes.
Right. You were being, it was a political satire. Okay. Here's why, in my opinion, here's why I didn't think it was appropriate.
Yes.
And let me give you another example. There was recently, of course, recently, I don't know, everything, it's been time has been kind of a blur lately with everything that's been going on. But recently, there was some sort of a video, or some sort of a challenge. Now, I'm not going to get into the personalities of the two organizations, but one organization, let's call it Organization A, sets up a challenge where you have to, some sort of a blindfold challenge.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
about.
okay, yeah. And then someone else from organization company B said that, basically, to paraphrase, that's really not a good idea, because you're going to give people who are sighted the wrong impression of blindness. And that's all I would say to you about that video. I really, I loved the satire, and I loved the way that you were making fun of society as a comedian would. You're very comical. I mean, I got the joke, but
Yes.
I personally, if I was your manager, I would, yes, I would say please take, yes, I would say please take that down, Olga, because it's not. And I really, I feel bad about saying it. Do what you want, all to their own, no problems. But I think that you, in that video, the other thing, apart from being satirical as a podcaster, is you have to take into consideration who your audience is in the first place. So if your audience is only blind people, then I think that video is fine, because other successful blind people would get it. But I would imagine that if your audience is sighted people, the sighted people are, not only are they going to not get the joke, but some of them, because people are crazy these days, man.
Yeah.
Some people are going to believe that blind people can't eat cereal, and that's the scary thing about that video. There are people in
But
this
do you
world.
care? I don't care what people
I
think
I I, appre- I
and what
appreciate
I can't do.
I,
You
app-
know?
I appreciate the fact. I appreciate the fact that you don't care. That's good, but to some degree you have to be cognizant of your audience, because
Yes, Karen, that's
you're
like,
influ-
look, if I was absolutely sure about that video,
yeah.
it would be still public, but I am not absolutely sure, even though I can give 100 of arguments in its defense. And one of them would be actually that I am sick of blind people trying to defend and themselves and trying to
I
say,
get it.
look at me, I can do this, I can do that.
Right.
Oh, what? I don't care. I can't do lots of things. And I'm happy to talk about it. I don't have
Oh
to have
no, I
it.
I totally I totally feel you. I totally feel the vibe of the video. I totally I completely understood your thought process, but I'm just telling you that as a podcaster, I'm someone who is very concerned about my audience. And I have to be, because quite frankly, if I was never concerned about my audience, then I never would have thought to reach out to you, because you were in my audience, or I came across you. See, so you have to think about it from both sides. You have to think about it from the producer and the consumer in the
Definitely, but that's
ecosystem.
what I was trying to
Yeah,
tell blind people. Do
yeah, yeah.
not worry. If you want, just like I do, eat sushi with your hands, go for it. I do not care. If you don't like how I do things, don't look at me. I can
Right.
see you. Don't look at me. So basically, that was the intention, the goal, to tell blind people, don't worry, don't worry. If it's convenient for you to do things certain way, go for it. But the problem with that video is that it wasn't quite thought through well enough,
It
and
was it
that's
was thought through. I could not disagree more. It was thought through perfectly. The execution was perfection. But I mean, so anyway, the other thing that I would say about it is the execution was perfect, but you know. It only takes one bad apple in the audience to bring to sink the whole ship. This is why, to some degree, it's good to not care what people think, but at some level, sometimes you have to think about how it's affecting the population. The other
Karen,
the
I care very much what my
good.
audience think, but I'm just saying I do not care what society in general thinks about me as Olga, not as a YouTuber, but as Olga, and that's the message I was trying
Excellent.
to convey.
Cool, cool.
Okay.